Welcome to the deep dive. We peel back the layers on those stories that just stick with you. And today, we're diving into something that seems simple on the surface, but really blew up into a diplomatic incident. What do you wear to meet a world leader? Especially when your country's, at war. We're talking about how a single black sweatshirt became this major flashpoint right inside the White House.
It's a fascinating collision, isn't it? High-stakes diplomacy just smashing into personal style. And yeah, we're really going to zero in on Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy today. His choices, his attire during these crucial international meetings. There's a lot hidden in plain sight there.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is to pull together insights from, well, all over the place. We've got news reports, detailed ones, diplomatic protocol guides, surprisingly interesting stuff, actually. Analyses on fashion's role in international relations, public takes, too. We want to unpack why Zelenskyy dresses the way he does, how people see it, what it says about respect, image, national identity, especially now during the conflict.
Okay, so let's pinpoint the moment this really ignited. Our sources point to a specific White House meeting, March 2nd, 2025. It was between then-President Donald Trump and President Zelenskyy. And apparently, right from the get-go, the atmosphere was, well, tense.
Yeah, the descriptions we found say Zelenskyy arrived, got out of his motorcade, wearing a black sweatshirt, Ukrainian trident embroidered on it, black slacks, boots. And the immediate take, according to reports, was that he was, quote, significantly underdressed, particularly next to President Trump, who was in a full suit and tie. Standard affair.
And Trump didn't miss a beat. The sources say as Zelenskyy got out, Trump made this comment, pretty sarcastic apparently, "You're all decked out today." That little remark, that was the spark.
It really was, wasn't it? It wasn't just like an awkward moment that passed. Things escalated from there pretty fast based on what we've read.
Ugh, incredibly fast. Went south is probably putting it mildly. That comment led into a heated exchange back in the Oval Office, and the fallout was pretty significant. A planned lunch canceled. And maybe more importantly, a key economic partnership agreement, the one involving rare earth minerals, left unsigned. It really shows how these symbolic things can just derail substantive diplomacy.
And then it got even more direct, almost confrontational, really. Brian Glenn, a correspondent for Real America's Voice, actually asked Zelenskyy point blank. He said, "Why don't you dress like a man? You not respecting the office is a problem for many Americans." Wow. I mean, that's putting it out there.
Yeah, and Zelensky's response was immediate and strong. He said, "I'll wear the costume after the war is finished." He clarified apparently that the Ukrainian word for suit is costume, but then he added this jab back, "Perhaps I'll wear something like yours or something better, perhaps something less expensive."
So clearly this wasn't just about clothes anymore. It was tapping into much deeper tensions. Sounds like the whole meeting kind of deteriorated after that.
It absolutely did. Reports suggest the meeting devolved into Trump basically launching into a tirade, accusing Zelenskyy of dragging out the war, using up American resources, put Ukraine in a really precarious diplomatic position, as one source put it. And it's interesting, reports also mention Vice President J.D. Vance. Apparently, he was also really irritated, maybe even more so than Trump, by Zelenskyy's clothes and his general demeanor in that meeting.
Okay, so that's the incident itself.
Right.
Quite the scene. But to really get why a sweatshirt could cause such a reaction, we need to understand the backdrop, the sort of unspoken language of diplomacy, the protocol. What are the rules, written or unwritten?
Well, they're definitely there. It's not just random. Diplomatic attire is built on generations of tradition, usage, your uniform, so to speak. It really depends on the function. Is it casual, formal? And then local customs, they add another layer of complexity, lots of modifications. It's precise.
And that word informal, it means something totally different in these circles, right? Like what does informal dress mean to a diplomat versus, you or me?
Oh, it's a world apart. Yeah, if we say informal, we might think jeans, maybe a polo shirt. But in diplomacy, informal dress means business dress. So for men, that's a suit and tie. For women, a business suit, maybe a conservative dress. You'll hear terms like lounge suit or tenue de ville used internationally. It's a level of formality many just aren't aware of.
Right, and sometimes it is written down. Like that Bush administration dress code for the White House. Posted right at the entrances. No jeans, no sneakers, shorts, miniskirts, T-shirts, tank tops. And I love this detail specifically. In bold, no flip-floppy-ace. You just know there's a story behind that one needing to be spelled out.
Exactly. So, okay, why all the fuss? Why these seemingly rigid codes? What's the thinking?
It goes deeper than just looking smart, doesn't it? The core idea is respect. Respect for the institution, the White House, Parliament, wherever you are. Respect for the history, respect for the people who, pour their lives into building that country, that system. It's not about being comfortable personally. It's about honoring the place, the occasion, the weight of it.
And the White House hasn't always received that kind of reverence, historically speaking. There are reasons these norms solidified. I mean, you mentioned sources talking about the British burning parts of it way back in 1814, or Andrew Jackson's inauguration party in 1829. Apparently, 20,000 people just descended on the place, caused chaos, broke furniture. It took people like Jackie Kennedy, much later, to consciously restore that sense of dignity.
And that principle, it extends way beyond just one building. In international relations, your image, how you present yourself, it isn't just personal. You're representing your whole country, your nation.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, dress becomes a kind of silent language.
A silent language, exactly. And that language often follows this principle guides call TPO, time, place, occasion. So what you wear for daytime business is different from elegant evening wear. You think about the place, no hats inside usually. And the occasion, is it official, social, more casual? All factors.
And culture plays a huge role in how that language is spoken. Like, comparing traditional Chinese and Western approaches is quite revealing.
It really is. Chinese etiquette, rooted in Confucianism, often stressed modesty, the collective good. So clothing might traditionally cover more of the body, suggesting inner beauty over outward display. Western etiquette, maybe more influenced by humanism, individualism, sometimes tends to highlight the body more.
But it's not static. You see leaders blending these now. Think about President Xi Jinping and First Lady Peng Liyuan in China.
Right. Reports analyze how they strategically mix Chinese and Western elements in their attire. It's very deliberate. They aim for an image of dignity, elegance, and erudition. It's about projecting cultural confidence, projecting great power. Their choices for state visits are meticulous.
There was even that concept mentioned, designing for Peng Liyuan the philosophy of luxury of poverty, emphasizing simplicity, heritage, a kind of national spirit. It shows how cultures use clothing to send really deep messages, strength through austerity maybe. It's fascinating.
Absolutely. It elevates the whole idea. It's not just clothes, it's communication, a statement. Which brings us back to Zelenskyy. Because his choices, viewed against this backdrop of formal expectations, become even more stark.
Right. So given all that protocol, all that silent language, Zelenskyy's choice, his consistent look, it's clearly not accidental. What's the message he's sending with this wartime uniform?
Oh, it's absolutely a deliberate, tactical move, not just what he feels like wearing. Our sources really emphasize this. Since the full-scale invasion started in 2022, he's consistently been in this military-style gear, usually olive green or black sweatshirts, cargo pants, and he's worn it everywhere, not just in Ukraine. To the Notre Dame reopening in Paris, previous meetings with Macron, even with Trump before he was president again. It's a consistent brand.
So, okay, it's strategic. What are the different layers of meaning there? What's he trying to communicate?
Multiple things, really. First, and maybe most obviously, it's solidarity with his soldiers. Dressing like them shows unity, constantly reminds everyone, hey, we're still fighting. He's visually in the trenches. Second, it projects this man of the people image. Humility, relatability. He's not detached in some palace. He's with his people.
And it's a constant reminder to the world, too, right? Like a visual cue. Ukraine is at war. We need help. Money. Weapons. Now, sometimes it projects that impoverished underdog vibe, which can be effective for aid appeals.
Definitely. And for Ukrainians themselves, for the military, it's a huge morale booster. It says, I haven't forgotten the front line. I'm leading us through this. It just fundamentally reinforces his whole persona as a wartime leader. The seriousness, the commitment.
And then there's that promise he made, the suit.
Yes, that's incredibly powerful. He explicitly told his people he won't wear a classic suit again until the war is won. It's a pledge. Former Polish President Duda even talked about it, seeing Zelenskyy back in a suit as the symbol that the war is finally over. So for Zelenskyy to change now, before victory, it would look like giving up, like breaking that promise.
It's heavy symbolism, and it does echo history. You mentioned Churchill earlier.
Right, Winston Churchill in his famous siren suit during World War II, that simple, practical garment became the symbol of British resilience, solidarity during the Blitz. Zelenskyy's tapping into that same kind of wartime iconography.
So, okay, the debate continues. Internationally, people are still divided on his style.
Absolutely. Some see it purely as breaking protocol, disrespect. Others see it as incredibly powerful symbolism fitting for the times. But love it or hate it, it's become a core part of his global image. You picture Zelenskyy, you picture the green sweatshirt.
And now there's this next big meeting coming up. Monday, August 18th, 2025. Trump, European leaders. High stakes.
Hmm?
And it's gotten to the point where, according to our sources, the White House actually asked Ukrainian officials beforehand about what Zelenskyy plans to wear. That feels unusual for diplomatic channels.
It really highlights how much focus is on his appearance, doesn't it? And the plan, apparently. He intends to wear that black jacket he wore back at the NATO summit in June. It's described as suit style. Important distinction. Suit style, but not a full suit. And definitely no tie.
Ah, the tie again. But that specific jacket, the suit-style one, that actually seemed to go over better with Trump previously.
It seems so. At that NATO summit, yeah. There was a comment from an official, cited in reports, saying Zelenskyy came like a normal human being, not crazy, and was dressed like somebody that should be at NATO. So maybe that slight shift, that nod towards formality, is seen as a compromise by some.
And there was that Trump advisor joke mentioned in the sources.
Right, joking that if Zelenskyy did show up in a classic suit, it would be a good sign for peace. But they immediately added, yeah, nobody actually expects that. The feeling among Trump's team seemed to be, a tie would be great, but again, not really anticipated.
And Vice President Vance, still not a fan, apparently?
Seems not. Reports reiterate he was actually more put off than Trump by the lack of formality, especially the no-tie thing at that earlier March meeting. So yeah, the tie or the absence of it seems to carry a particular weight for some figures.
And all this is happening against a backdrop of really serious diplomatic maneuvering. Trump's stated aim for this meeting is apparently to push Zelenskyy towards a peace deal, one that, according to reports, could involve Ukraine giving up Crimea and its NATO aspirations, basically aligning with Moscow's demands.
Exactly. So the clothing, the symbolism, it's all playing out on this incredibly charged stage. It adds yet another layer to these tough negotiations.
It just underscores how fashion, especially in times of war, isn't just about aesthetics. It becomes a tool.
A communication device, a political statement. The lines get really blurry.
We even saw that reflected in the fashion world itself, like that Ukrainian designer, Elena Guseva.
Yeah, she shifted her whole focus, went from high-end fashion to making tactical clothing, but blending functionality with fashion, seeing it as a message of resilience, unity. She even suggested it could influence future trends, which loops back to that luxury of poverty idea in China we touched on.
Right, using simplicity, heritage, practicality to convey something profound about national spirit, whether it's resilience or strength. It's a powerful reminder.
It really is. A testament to how deeply linked personal presentation is with national identity, global messaging, especially when survival itself is on the line.
So, there you have it. We've unpacked how something as simple as a sweatshirt worn by a leader at war turns into this complex symbol. A focal point for debates about perception, protocol, power. It really lays bare that intricate dance between how a leader looks and the story a nation wants to tell the world, proving, maybe, that the loudest statements sometimes don't involve words at all.
So the question lingers, doesn't it? What does this whole saga, this focus on clothing, tell us about power and respect today in our very visual, very connected world?
Is sticking rigidly to the old rules, the traditional diplomatic dress codes, always the best way to communicate urgent truths? Or does breaking the mold sometimes speak louder, more effectively than any perfectly tailored suit ever could? Something for you to think about as you notice that silent language all around us.